Okay, you ready to go now? All right, Nate, you can start.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone? Okay, the special call council meeting dated Tuesday, March 8th is called on. What time is it, Mr. Clerk?
6:04.
6:04.
Counselor, I call the roll.
You call the roll.
Counselor Gowdy. Counselor Smith,
Present.
Counselor Martin,
Present.
Counselor Blahoviak, and Counselor Stevenson. Both Counselor Stevenson and Counselor Blahoviak is absent.
For the record, do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay. What about Councilman Smith and Councilman
Counselor Smith is on. Counselor Blahoviak and Stevenson aren't here today.
you just got to speak it to me.
Yeah, Counselor Blahoviak said that she's too sick to join the meeting right now.
Okay.
And
We're not gonna worry about that, okay?
and Counselor Stevenson,
For the record, what is Stevenson's reason for not being here?
you would have to ask Tracy that
I'm asking Tracy now.
Okay, hi, Counselor. All right.
Yes,
The reason she said that she had a prior commitment and she canceled her meeting because she said she didn't have a quorum.
were you supposed to be a part of her meeting?
I have a sick brother and I was at work.
You couldn't make it.
Yeah, so,
We're not gonna worry about it.
so
Okay, Mr.
what,
Clerk,
next,
remarks of- go ahead, the next one, please.
yeah, remarks of the public, any public on Zoom or in the building here got anything they want to say? Okay, no, hearing none from the public. Next is the legislation, resolution number 21-22. A resolution authorizing the mayor to contract with the Flock Group, Inc., 1170 Howell Road, Northwest, Unit 210, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318 for license plate reader cameras with the amount of $71,250 being donated by Axon Enterprise, Inc. for a one-year trial period with no obligation by the city to purchase in subsequent years.
Okay, before we hear from Chief Gardner and the police department, let's hear from the Flock people. Let's start with Mr. Lombardo, Mr. McNamara.
Hello, sir. How are you doing today? I appreciate everybody finding some time for us tonight and getting this emergency meeting scheduled. Yes, I'm from Flock Safety. I cover all of Ohio. We work with about 45 other agencies just in Northeast Ohio and the Cleveland area alone, including many of your neighbors like Cleveland Heights. We're actually just there installing some cameras today. The technology that we offer is nothing new to the city of East Cleveland. You currently have some LPRs up and running with another vendor that was provided by the county. Ours are a little different where it can identify make, build, and color of a car, and we'll be able to use more heavily on the back end. But this isn't new technology to the city. It's really just a way to expand on the current technology that you have to more locations. And like it was read, it's actually being paid for by Axon. Somehow East Cleveland qualified for this. Only 4 other police departments in Ohio actually qualified for this through Axon. It was the city of Cleveland, the city of Cincinnati, the city of Toledo, and yourselves. So this isn't something that has been widely provided to a lot of departments throughout all of Ohio. East Cleveland was lucky enough to be one of the 4 departments that Axon picked that they would be willing to provide this offer for. So just want to reiterate, this is not new technology to the city, just really being able to expand on it and provide the department the resources that it needs to help cut down on some of the crime that's out there.
Okay, Nate, he's done.
Okay, Mr. Lombardo?
Mhm.
What are the key things that the council and the public need to know about this license plate reading?
Yep. First is that the city is the one that owns the data. I think that's important to notate here, that Flock doesn't own the data. Flock's not sharing the data. It's not selling the data. It's not using the data in anything other than law enforcement purposes for the city of East Cleveland, right? It's also not, it's only taken the picture of a back of a vehicle as well, right? We don't do facial recognition. We don't go after, we don't look at people. It's really just capturing objective evidence of vehicles. And like I said, it's something that the city's already using today, you know, with one or two of them that they have in the city. So again, it's not new technology. It's just being able to take advantage of this offer to get more of that great technology within the city. Like I said, to help just cut down on some of the violent crime that's going on all throughout the Cleveland area.
Does Mr. McNamara have anything to say from the Flock group?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Nothing specific to add other than what Rick has said. If you would like, we certainly have some slides that we could share with the group, but at the same time, I don't want to waste anyone's time with that if unnecessary.
How can we do that?
Yeah, right now they're in the process of setting up the equipment in the courtroom. So if you did share them, it would only be with the people on Zoom. Most people in this room wouldn't be able to see it. So I don't know if you want them to send it to you or
Well,
something.
yeah, maybe we can send it to our clerks and we'll have it at the next meeting. Oh, Mr. Lombardo,
Yes, sir.
stay with us. We're gonna turn it over to our chief in the police department. Because we got a deadline. If we don't make this deadline by March 12th, is it a possibility we can get an extension?
It is not. It's really kind of the end date of it, because everything kicks off the following Monday. So this was provided to a number of departments throughout the entire country. So this wasn't just local to Ohio. So we have, I believe it's over 100 already taking part in this, cities throughout the entire US. So to kick that off, the final deadline, unfortunately, is the Friday this week.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the law director, Williams, to come up for a second. We have an issue here before we get to Gardner and the police.
Yes.
The issue is that it's me, Gowdy, and Smith. The other two, one is sick, and the other one says she's too sick to, but she talked to you a few minutes ago. So, legally, what can we do? Mr. Lombardo just said we gotta do it by the 12th. The day is the 8th. Okay.
Mr. Lombardo, ordinarily, we have 3 out of the 5 counselors is a majority. If I can get the signatures in a notice of intent to approve the technology, could you accept that along with the signature of the mayor?
Yeah, it's really not our call. Like Flock isn't the one that gets to determine the deadline. Unfortunately, it is made by Axon. So I would have to run that by them. Like I said, they're just the ones paying for it. I'm not sure if that would be. I know we have a pretty hard deadline. So even with any sort of letter of intent, they really need that contract signed by the 12th.
Okay, if the 3 counselors gave the mayor permission to sign the contract, would that be satisfactory?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, well,
okay,
that,
I'll get the signatures and I'll work with the city council to get the signatures and draft the approval of the 3 counselors. And then I'll get the mayor's signature on that. And I'm going to email you in order to make sure it meets with your approval as well as that of Axon tomorrow,
Okay,
okay?
great.
okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Lombardo.
Well, I didn't have anything. I didn't know if
Okay.
somebody else was speaking.
That's Ernest talking.
Now, Ernest, go ahead, Ernest.
Sorry, Councilor Smith talking.
my apologies. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Madam Law Director, if necessary, to keep everything on the straight and narrow, do you think we should call another special meeting before the deadline?
I don't think it would do any good. I think that you know, who we have present and available in terms of the majority of council making a commitment for the approval of this is what we have, as well as the mayor under these extraordinary circumstances, given the health concerns, and the unavailability of persons due to COVID. I think that is enough of an exceptional circumstance to, you know, to allow for these special conditions.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Law Director.
So, Madam Law Director, direct us what we can do legally based on your conversation with Mr. Lombardo.
Okay, I'm going to circulate tomorrow a letter of the commitment and approval among the three council persons who make up the majority. We did not have much time. I understand that the police department only learned of this opportunity a couple of weeks ago. And so in light of that, in the light of the fact that we're in a very health distressed era, and one of the council persons is disabled, we have contingencies, even as to the president of the United States. If something that is urgently needed is impossible to achieve because of, say, his disability, then there, you know, exceptional circumstances, and I'm sure in this COVID era that would qualify. Mr. Lombardo, I would like to get your email, and I'll have all of that information from the city council tomorrow and work with them. Thank you.
You know, what we're going to do is what the exchange you just had with Mr. Lombardo, the three and the mayor,
Yes,
and then hopefully that will work.
yes.
Okay,
It depends on what Axon accepts.
can you,
If Axon
can you talk
accepts it,
with Exxon?
that's the information I'm gonna get
Okay.
from Axon tomorrow. It's up to the donor agency, what kind of documentation and approval from the political subdivision that they will accept.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Justin Anderson, can Tracy hear me?
Yeah, she can hear you loud
Hear
and
you
clear.
fine.
People know how important this was, and the deadline for the 12th, were they aware of it? The two council people, Corrine Stevenson and Patricia Flahoviak.
Yeah, it came down, the police department was February 28th. That was the last day of February. So you're looking, they actually broke their necks trying to get this to us, and today's the 8th. And you figure even with the weekends. So, I mean, this turnaround time was it was so tight. This is free money and to the city, 71,000. It's something new. You know, we're a small city, and like Mr. Lombardo said, you only have 14,000 residents. You're 3 miles wide. I mean, this is an exceptional. This was only offered to large cities after the cities he named off. So this is almost like a trial basis. So it's a shame to have to give it up. But unfortunately, I mean, we did our best. We tried to get all the counselors there. They knew of this last week. We were really pushing for it. So unfortunately, circumstances popped up today at the last minute.
Gowdy wanted to ask you something, Tracy.
All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
Tracy, do we need 4 votes on this?
If you pass it as an emergency, it would be 4 votes. But what Will is saying, that since this is it's an exceptional problem, what she just iterated to everybody was, there are ways that it can be done because there is the majority rules on this. We do know that Dr. Bahogian said,
You're not recognized. Okay, what we're going to do, since we got 2 council people that are not here, for whatever reason they're not here, is we're gonna go with with the law director worked out with Lombardo, either it works or it doesn't. It's that big. My question to the law director, do we need to come up here and sign this, or is there anything we need to sign? The day is the 8th, we got 2-3 days before the 12th.
That's what I'm
Tomorrow
asking.
gonna, excuse me.
Ms. Stevenson, yeah, they were wondering, you could participate during Zoom. Would you like to come to a Zoom meeting tomorrow? Tomorrow at what time could you, if you would be able to make a Zoom meeting tomorrow for an emergency? I can't hear you.
I said, for what? That stuff the police.
Yeah, the license plate cameras, For the license plate readers, because it gotta be in by Friday, they got a deadline. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I'll let them know then.
Okay, articulate that, please.
I would love to hear.
We can't hear her. Can you?
She's not in agreement with the cameras, so
She's not in agreement with what?
the cameras, she doesn't
Mrs.
agree.
Bohoviac?
No, Ms. Stevens, she's not coming. She can't come to a meeting tomorrow.
And she can't-
Neither of, yeah, you
No.
don't have enough votes. Neither Bahoviac or Stevenson are in agreement with the camera readers.
Okay, would you articulate again that for the record, Justin?
Miss, oh, what, I mean,
Yeah,
Miss
Sam-
Stevenson just isn't, she says she's not available tomorrow.
You talking about Bohoviac now?
Miss Stevenson, and she's not in
What
it.
about Bohoviac?
She's sick. She'll be
Okay.
out for at least 2 weeks.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes, Mr. Smith.
if we're not gonna, go down the lane that the path the law director made for us, couldn't this be a first read and then we come back for a
No,
special meeting?
we don't have enough time. We have, Brother Smith, we have to have 2 weeks in between the meetings. So our only
That's right,
option at
that's
this
right.
point is to move forward with what the law director exchanged with Mr. Lombardo and see if it's sufficient or not. That's the only thing we can do at this point.
Okay, thank you. I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Thank you for your inquiry.
I
Law
would like-
director, articulate everything for the
Okay,
record.
what I
okay?
need to do is I need to be able to get in touch with each one individually in order to get their signatures on a document that I would draft tomorrow and get their approvals. And in terms of the support for the license plate readers, based on the terms and conditions provided by the donating agency. And then I will personally get the signatures, notarize the signatures, get the mayor's signature, and then email it to Mr. Lombardo, who will forward it to Axon for either their approval or disapproval. It's up to the donating agency decides whether or not they will accept, what they will accept.
So that's where we are at this point.
Yes, I will find each one of them.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
just call me, I'll come up and Donnie will come up. And Smith,
Are you available?
Brother Smith, are you available tomorrow? To sign
Yes,
it?
sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Willa. This is Tracy.
Yes.
Okay, Willa,
Yes.
so here's a question. Once my counselors do this tomorrow, the 3 counselors, could we still revise this piece of legislation to explain in it what the problems that we encountered and then still put it on the agenda, on our regular agenda Monday, and then
No,
2 weeks after that,
no.
pass it as
No,
first and
it's
second?
not,
We don't need
it's not
to?
going, it's not going as a piece of legislation.
Okay, I just want to
It's
make
going-
sure, so we will
Yeah,
know.
it's-
Okay.
It
So
won't
it's-
be in the legislative history of the East Cleveland City Council. What it will be is a proclamation of commitment and approval for the, for the license plate readers. And it'll be notarized and also signed by the mayor. And it'll be more like an executive order with council approval.
Okay, so I will put on there withdrawn for extenuating circumstances. And then
Okay.
behind it, then that way that number dies. And, you know, it's like just, it died for a reason. Okay, I just want to be on,
Yes.
that we're all on the same page. All right, thank you, Willa.
Yeah, it'll go as an executive order with 3 councilors' approval.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Chief Gardner. Everyone who has something to say, let's get it on the record, okay? Thank you, Chief.
Council President, thank you. I do have a presentation in mind. I actually will be turning the floor over to Commander Marche in a moment. I did have some directive questions that were asked by several of the council members that are not present. And Council President, I just want to express my extreme displeasure that these 2 council people that knew how important this legislation was tonight to pass, they were the most vocal against it for whatever reason, behind the scene, right? And I find it very convenient that they're not here tonight. And it's not only a slap in my face, it's a slap to every resident's face in this city. It's a slap to Miss Patricia Jones, who I will let speak here momentarily as part of the presentation, who is a violent victim crime, a victim of violent crime in the city, that this perhaps would have prevented. I just find it appalling that these 2 council people would allow this to happen. But I digress. I appreciate.
And you know what I like when you do, Gardner, on that, the questions, I think, the holder had a whole bunch of questions. She sends 5, 6 emails daily. So cover it. So I don't want her to say, well, they didn't cover my questions. We're gonna cover her questions, okay? Since she chose not to be here, okay?
Some of her questions, I don't exactly understand what she was asking. The Axon Corporation is a well-known corporation. It's probably one of the largest body camera systems for public safety use. Currently, we use Axons for our tasers. The Axon website is axon.com. I'm not sure how a simple Google search would have found that, but the rest of her questions were relative to the accuracy. I don't know if Rick is still on, but from his documentation that he provided me, the
Yeah, he's still on.
accuracy of license plate character record or accuracy is 92%. The vehicle color is 95%. Vehicle make accuracy 92%. The vehicle type accuracy is 98%. And that's the beautiful thing about this system. It's not just an LPR. I couldn't tell you the amount of crimes that occur in the city where perhaps a witness only knows a color, make, and model of a vehicle, and we are able to search off of these cameras, off of that criteria. It's not just the license plate. But the other questions were, what other municipalities have the license plate? And this is a rather extensive list, right? Mentor has 29, Mentor on the Lake 3, Eastlake 8, Painesville 2, Willoughby 10, Willoughby Hills 8, Richmond Heights 4, Highland Heights 6, Hunting Valley 27, Westlake 9, Pepper Pike 5, Gates Mills 5, Orange Village 9, Moreland Hills 5, Solon 10, Bainbridge Township 2, Lakewood 40, Brooklyn 18, Cleveland Heights 20, Independence 31, Brunswick 10, Brooklyn Heights 3, Avon Lake 4, Newburgh Heights 8, Maple Heights 32, Warrensville Heights 23, and they are adding 6 more currently. North Ridgeville 20, Macedonia 8, Aurora 8, Northfield 2, Parma Heights 10, Brecksville 12, South Russell 8, Twinsburg 12, Jackson Township 25, Seville 6, Medina 10, Broadview Heights 6. The cities of North Royalton, Shaker is committed to buying 15 or having 15 installed. Shaker Heights for 6, Cuyahoga Heights 14, Euclid 20, and the city of Cleveland is installing 125. Those were the questions that Councilman or Councilperson Wahoviak had posed to me. I was able to give you like a topographical map. Essentially, this is all of the cameras that are in Northeast Ohio at this point. And again, I want to turn over to Commander Marche to give you just a little bit of idea of the ability.
Right. And what I like for you to do, and all the officers here to want, let's cover it all. Okay, so the public can see what's going on here. This was very important. I know my clerks have been in conversation with the two council people that chose not to be here today for whatever reason.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get it all on the record, okay, so the public would know, okay?
Right, I mean, just as far as the system, or are you talking about previous conversation I've had with the council?
Well, let's put that on the record too. The previous conversation you had with either one of them, put it on the record. Let's get it on the record.
I mean, again, any piece of legislation the police department brings forward, these two council people are opposed, regardless of what the intent or what's happening, before they even know or have any explanation of what's going on. Again, this technology would protect and be able to solve crime in a fraction amount of time. We have all sorts of crime throughout the city where we just do not have camera coverage. And again, this is the Flock system through Axon would provide 25 cameras throughout the city. And again, I don't know if you understood what Rick was talking about. We would actually be able to incorporate through the other cities that border us, Euclid, Cleveland Heights, Cleveland. And we would actually be able to access the camera footage and the data that those cities have so that we can track fugitives, people that are wanted for crimes. And so I mean, the technology is limitless.
And for the record, it's not costing us one dime. It's a grant.
Nothing.
Right?
It's
Not
for an
costing us anything.
entire year,
Okay,
25 cameras for free.
okay,
After the year, it's $2,500 per camera, but we do not have to keep any of them. We can keep all the way from 0 to 25. All right, but for the entire year, we get them for free.
so we have a chance here to get the 25 cameras for free. And if we felt that it's not sufficient, we can terminate.
Yes,
So there's no reason for us not to go forward with this.
I have
No reason at
President,
all.
I have no idea why you went.
Right. Have the other people come, I'm gonna have my clerk say something too, because I think they had some, I don't know if they had conversation. Okay, all right.
Council, how are you?
Yes, how are you,
Good,
Marche?
good. Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Ma'am, how are
Okay.
you? Well, just the chief having said that, I mean, why wouldn't, if we have the opportunity to stop a crime, not stop a crime, but investigate a crime with this investigative tool, why wouldn't we use it? Especially when it's free. 70% of crimes that happen within the United States there's a vehicle that's used in those crimes. And not saying that the bad guy is driving that vehicle, there's somebody else driving the vehicle. You know what I mean? Or the bad guy might be in the back seat. But we need to know where that vehicle is, because chances are we find that vehicle, then we're gonna find the bad guy that was sitting in that vehicle, whether it's registered to him or not. Whoever is the registered owner of that vehicle knows who that bad guy was in that car that committed that crime. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but 1 in 37 people that enter the city of East Cleveland, that drive through this city, 1 in 37 is going to be a victim of a violent crime. 1 in 37, and there's only 14,000 residents. That's pretty big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these LPRs give us, it may not solve a crime, but it's going to give us an investigative lead to possibly solve violent crime that occurs in the city. And for other council members not to be here to want something like this to help these citizens, it's just ridiculous. On February 13th, we had a homicide. Dwight Alston was on Hayden Avenue at Lakeville. He was literally pulled out of his car, shot in the head. They got in his car, the suspect actually got out of another car and went to Dwight's car, opened up the driver's door, pulled him out, shot him in the head, jumped in his car, and followed that other suspect vehicle in his car out of the city of East Cleveland into Cleveland. They eventually burned up the car. And we are unable, I mean, I think we know what type of vehicle it is now. But if we had these LPR readers, we would know who was driving that car. And we know one thing, the driver of that car wasn't the guy that killed Dwight. But that suspect that killed Dwight got out of that car. All right, so the guy that's driving the car, he knows who killed Dwight. So Patricia Jones is here.
Okay.
Can you come up here, Patricia? Patricia's the mother of Dwight. And she'd like to say a few words.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right.
I'm here because I would like for y'all to have those readers. They're free. They're not asking you to pay for them, but that can help try for them to solve the crime that was committed against my son. He didn't do nothing. They pulled him out of his car and shot him. And if y'all can just pass this law, it would mean so much to me that y'all are trying to do something. And I thank you very much for listening to me.
Ms. Jones, I thank you for coming. It's my hope, Will of him, is that we can get it done, get it done. When I found out personally that we could get this for free, we have our challenges.
Yes, you do.
We as far as I was concerned, it's a win-win situation. I think Valley and Smith feel the same way. So we'll hope we can work this out. God be with you,
Thank you.
Sister Jones. Thank you.
Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones doesn't live in the city anymore, but
Okay,
she actually grew up here.
okay.
And you lived here for how long?
I went to school here. I graduated from Shaw in 1968.
Okay.
So
I am alumni.
What's your full name, Ms. Jones?
Patricia
Patricia
Austin.
Jones?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
Mr. President,
Mr. Smith, go ahead.
yes. Ms. Jones,
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is Councilman Smith. I'd like to offer my deepest condolences. I'm a friend and associate of both Ed and Whitey, if you don't mind me
Yes,
affecting.
that
if
was
you don't
his
mind me-
name.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, I met you at the funeral. I want to offer my deepest condolences. I want to apologize on behalf of my colleagues not being present for whatever reason. I want to thank the police department. We've been asking and asking and asking for the police department to figure out a way to try to calm down some of the chases and to try to find other avenues to help our citizens, and they have done just that. They have done exactly what we as people, activists, and elected officials has asked our police department. So it is our duty to support our police department in those efforts. So I'm here. We are here. Hopefully everything will go smooth from here after we vote. And again, I want to, on behalf of the city of East Cleveland, just offer my deepest condolences and prayers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Gardner, the next speaker, let's get it all out here because this was vitally important. That's why I called this meeting today, so we can get this done, knowing that we had time constraints that we had to deal with. So I'm very discouraged and distraught about what's been taking place about something like this. It doesn't cost us a dime. It would help us with crime. And it's disheartening as far as I'm concerned. But that's my,
Council President, it's unconscionable.
okay,
It's unconscionable. This is a piece of software and equipment that's $74,000 free to the city. Right? There is no cost whatsoever. There's no obligation to the city whatsoever. It's unconscionable that these two members of council have purposely chosen to attempt to sabotage this. It's unconscionable.
thank you, sir. It's another speaker. If not, we're gonna hear from the mayor about this situation. Any other police who want to say anything in relation to the reading? Anyone? Any other police officer? Okay, Mayor Brandon King, the issue we deal with is two council people, for whatever reason, are not here. One says, one's supposed, I don't even go there, but they're not here, okay? And our clerks have had some conversation, I'm gonna have them say something near the end about how important it is. This will help the police, doesn't cost us a dime. Exxon Corporation took care of that. We get the 25 cameras free for a whole year. So if the cameras don't work out, we can terminate it. So for them not being here, it's unconscionable. Okay, go ahead.
I love the way you put it.
Okay,
And we need to do a better job at communicating with the voters
yes,
so that the residents of the city know what is being done on their behalf by the people they elect to be in these seats. We do our job, that's all we can ask, right?
okay,
Our chief of police has been with the city and the police department 29, 25?
25 years.
25 years. The question is judgment on what it would take to run the police more efficiently, to make the streets and the residents safer and the businesses safer so that people feel more comfortable coming into the city, doing business and living in the community. Question that. Come on, man. I give this story all the time. Go to the eye doctor and you tell him what your prescription is. Right? You go to the eye doctor, you let him or her to prescribe your glasses. Right? It's always been a sad thing to watch some of the counselors over the years and some of the residents who show up at some of these meetings. Like they go from knowing law to knowing finance to knowing more than the people who've been trained in these positions, right? And then we bring something, we do the research for you, right? We just left county council. I wish we could take a field trip as elected officials and go and see how they run their council meetings, right? They're literally bringing up the council number, the clerk reads it, read what it's about, person who sponsors it, discusses it, right? All the work's done in committee, they just give a brief overview of what it is, and they vote on it, right? They take care of business on behalf of the people who elected them to do that. We need to do more of that here in the city. So unless you have any questions on
I want to see this. Now, here's what's so profound. We get 25 cameras for a whole year. We get a chance to assess. We get a chance to evaluate. The police can do it. If they're not functional, if they're not working, we can terminate it.
Right.
So there's no reason that this is not being acted.
If we don't like on the side of 3 months.
Right.
6 months.
Right.
Right, they're under our control, we can cut them off, right? We will take them down ourselves, but to deny the residents
Yes.
the resources of things like this is unheard of. Right? And
Yeah.
we've been talking for years how we need people to write grants, how we need to bring in resources, modernize the technology. Here's our opportunity. And what do?
Well,
Disappoint our residents, right?
yes, yes. And that's why I have to be objective. The public needs to hear this. Okay? All right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other police officer, we're gonna, I had on my list, the one about the, knowing authorized the mayor to take action necessary to accept the shot spotter, but we got time on that one, so we'll wait on it. Yes,
Jennifer.
yes, Tracy.
Yeah.
Yes, I did some more research for you, and I want to make sure that we're not mistaken on this when we were doing for the license plate readers. I think
Yes.
that it also helps, like with the Amber Alert, if a parent takes a child or whatever in the vehicle, or if we have elderly people with Alzheimer's that are now driving a vehicle and is a lost adult, I think that this will help that, as well as if there's a domestic situation where somebody's fighting in a car, or that was the whole purpose also, when we did our research of the readers, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Lombardo, is that also work with that?
That's correct. Yeah, we are
Okay.
tied in. So you would get all the amber alerts and silver alerts for any missing juveniles, and that's for any missing juvenile in the whole country. If any juvenile out of any state is associated with a car, your department would get an alert in 7 to 15 seconds.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure, because we did the research and I passed it on to counselor. And this is a good thing because sometimes they drive through cities that, that they are, or older, the silver alert, they're not sure. They don't remember where they live now, but they might remember where they lived 20 years ago, and they're driving the streets of East Cleveland or any city, and this will help spot them and make sure they get home safe.
Okay, Tracy, you agree with Peters and our clerk, Justin Anderson. What dialogue did you have with the two, for the record, did you have with the two councils? What is their reason for not being?
Well, I'm not really want to keep going. Was definitely in support of this, surprisingly, because I know she's big on police equipment and she doesn't like some of the equipment, but surprisingly, she was in support of this and excited about it. As far as as far as Councilor Blahoviak and Councilor Stevenson, I just don't, Councilor Blahoviak, she's just sick, she said.
She's sick?
Yeah.
What about Stevenson?
She just isn't available. So I was trying to see if maybe one of them could at least come on like tomorrow or maybe Friday to do an emergency meeting, but I don't think that I don't think it's going to happen. So sounds like we're sorry, but I don't know if it's going to work or not.
All right, well, Chief Gardner, we're going to go with the dialogue that took place with the law director and Mr. Lombardo and see if this will work for us. Okay. For the record, Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy, Councilman Ernest Smith, Nathaniel Martin support this legislation. For the record, the other two, I can't speak for them. Okay. Anything else we need to cover?
Well, the next piece of legislation, Counselor Martin, I think we see what's going to happen. The shot spotter,
Right.
You're not getting too much support from Counselor Bahoviak. You see the emails coming back and forth. To pass as an emergency would take 4. We don't have 4. So my recommendation, it's not an emergency. Let's table it. We will bring it back on March 15th as a first read because we know 3 counselors are in favor of it. And then 2 weeks after, it could be passed as a second read. That's
Okay, so-
also a direct grant that is almost $125,000 that's awarded to the city from the Ohio Department of Justice. You might want Chief Gardner just to speak a little on that now, because we will bring it forward on March 15th.
We're talking about
Officer,
ordinance
yeah.
23, 22.
22. Officer Gerhart
Gardner,
wrote
can
that.
you say something about the sharpshooter?
That's the one he, 22.
Yeah,
That's the one Gerhart.
22, correct. Right. You want to say something about that? Someone that, this is just for discussion.
I mean,
Because I'm going to officially table this because there's really nothing we can do. We have time with this, but the one that we just spent a half an hour on, that has to be approved by the 12th. Is that right, Law Director?
Yeah.
Right, okay, go ahead, Chief.
I just, excuse me, one thing I just want to confer with Law Director one.
Oh. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah.
Yes. No, it wasn't.
Okay, okay. All right, I'm sorry, Council President, I just wanted to make certain. The shot spotter essentially is technology that, there are little microphones essentially that would be set up throughout the city. When they are actually able to triangulate locations when there is a shooting within 3 feet. There's technology would actually immediately push out not only to our dispatchers, but if officers elected to have it on their cell phones, they would immediately be alerted that there was a shot that went off. I cannot tell you the amount of calls we received. I believe Captain Lundy actually just spoke to someone literally today that the older couple actually eats in their basement because they're afraid of the continued shots that they hear. And again, I can't tell you how many residents contact my office with the same similar concerns. There's shootings that are occurring all over the place in the city of East Cleveland. A lot of times they either do not contact us because they think that someone else is contacting us, or they just feel that we're not going to show up. I'm not exactly certain why they are not giving us a call. But again, with the shot spotter, we would be alerted to the shots within 3 feet. So the grant that was written, I believe, was for $149,000. And again, that would purchase.
That's another grant that don't cost us a dime, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, well, I want to get that on the record, okay? Anyone else want to say anything in reference to the shot spotter? No?
If you don't mind, Council President, I just, because I know he had first-hand conversations.
Captain
with
Lundy?
a couple of
Okay, come up with Mr. Lundy.
Councilman Barton, Councilwoman Goddard. I mean, we've talked back and forth about the shot spotter over the last few months.
Okay.
And its importance. I mean, obviously a state-of-the-art technology. Like Chief said, just recently yesterday, I was on East 142nd Street, where we had a homicide. Ms. Jones said her son was murdered on Lakefront. We had a homicide this past Friday where another gentleman was murdered. I'm not sure if shot spotter would have saved his life, but what I do know is that he lay between two homes for hours before the police actually got there because no one called the police. And it wasn't until the actual resident of that home went out to her driveway to get in her car and it was the guy's body between the two homes. So with shot spotter in place, we would have gotten an alert. We would have went there and we could have got the male probably some medical treatment right away. So this is one of those things where it's very important. It doesn't cost the city any money. And just to reiterate what everyone else has been saying, I just don't understand why we're not moving forward with this type of technology. I mean, here in the city of East Cleveland, we can take all that we can get. So I'll just add that. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I want to thank you, I want to, Gerhard is here. Thank you for writing the grant. Unfortunately, hopefully, what Willingham has worked out, hopefully that'll work for us. Okay, I'm hoping that it does. Let us know. Again, I want to thank Councilwoman Gowdy and Councilman Smith will be supportive. Anything we can do to help our police, we should be doing that. It's a tough job. It's really tough. So I hope it works out. I didn't know that the other ones weren't going to show, but whatever. I think we've worked something out. It may happen, it may not. We'll see. Mr. Clerk, let's go to the next.
Remarks of the public.
Okay, remarks of the public.
Thanks,
We have
Mr.
Mr. Irby online that's had his hand raised.
Are you done with Mr. Lombardo and associates here? They could leave? Okay, you could go, Mr. Lombardo and Tom.
Mr. Clerk. Okay, remarks of the public, wait, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
3 minutes, Mr. Obey.
Mr. Irby's had his hand up for the past 10 minutes.
You always go longer than anybody.
She said Mr. Irby had his hand up for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, Irby after Omaze, but let Mr. Omaze go first. Go ahead.
Okay, is the chief still in the room?
Wait, hold on. Is that Irby?
Yeah, he says the chief still.
Mr. Irby, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the chief is still here. He's still in the room. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. First thing, police
No,
officers.
no, no.
Mr. Irby, one second.
No.
I guess they want Old Mays to go
Old
first.
Mays is up here now. You want to yield to him, Old Mays?
Irby, you could
Okay,
go.
Go ahead. Kevin, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Mr. Irby.
Okay, first thing, police officers patrolling East Cleveland, where are they? I made phone calls 2 days ago for a house breaking in, no officer's response. Property was stolen out of the vehicle. Young man, I described him to a T. Come to find out the young man was at the gas station, still no response, no reply. I want to know where are the officers that's supposed to patrol the city? What are we paying for? This makes no sense. Second thing, your canine division, and Mr. Martin can attest to this, backed into my vehicle, cracked my front end, and yet there's nothing that East Cleveland has done to repair, fix, or anything. I tried to speak to you professionally. There's no response from you. So next turn of events, I would like a written response. Why? My car was 4 days old and your canine division backed into my front end of a foreign car. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. O'Mays.
Not castigating, but just speaking way norms should be followed. If the absent counselors are absent, we don't sit here and castigate them or allow anyone else to castigate them. If they call in, reported they were sick or whatever the situation may be, that's the way the norms operate here. Now, there are other measures that if you know the person isn't, or whatever the case may be, there are other processes that council has. And this is not one of them. Everybody can get sick. And if they call in sick, that's what you do, you move on. They're not here. Now, I don't know what the timeline on this equipment that that's before you, whether you can call the company and ask them to give you a little more time, whatever. But the process which has been discussed, that's totally illegal. You're opening yourself up to be investigated again. And so I'm saying, do what the norms allow you to do. And that is, you vote on things, you either vote it up or down, and not castigating other councilmen, whether they are here or not here, or don't vote for it or support it. That's their prerogative. They can ask questions or whatever. But you do not, another council doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. You move on with the meeting. You try to work with them, to talk with them, to get them to support that. You don't get people to, and it hurts the city too, as well. But you have to work together and respect each other. No one has a timeline on sickness or when it's going to hit, or whatever the story may, something that came up. But you don't castigate the public. That's not ethical, period. And we know this city has been under investigation and what have you. You need to walk circumspectly. Do what is right. Right will follow you. So I'm not saying don't support, get the equipment that they need, or what have you, but there's a way to do it. You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. So I just want to put that on the record that I've spoken to them. Because every one of us gets sick.
something happened to us, you can't make the meeting. So, and then there was a finance meeting, that was canceled. Because put out, and then you don't involve your staff in the discussion. This is council meeting. And that's whom you have to listen to, because that's whom you have to work with. So let the record reflect that Old Mays has spoken, and I hope that you will adhere to it.
Anybody else? Any other citizens who want to speak? Yes, come on up.
How you doing?
Okay,
I'm Larry McDonald. I've been in the city now for 3 years as a resident. I'll say that we all are doing the best we can to protect this community. You know, it's a lot of residents that's, you know, elderly that are scared at night. I receive these calls all through the night on my cell phone. Actually, I'm a resident that listens to the gunshots, the rearing of the vehicles, flying from Cleveland Heights down the hill. And I feel that any technology that can help our community sleep at night and feel a little safer, that our council and whomever should help. It's just, you know, we all live here. So we all hear this all through the night. And these technologies that the department has come up with is technology that can help us. These are ways that we can fight back. All the things we're trying to do is just keep the community safe. I want to be safe at night. My son sleeps just like I sleep. So I just want you to take that in consideration. Anything that can help this community sleep at night will be well protected. We need to really sit down and get agreed on. Thank you.
thank you, officer. Anyone else? Okay, one in the gallery.
The mayor.
Oh, the mayor, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mayor.
Can I give my turn to the law director of the city?
Yes, yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yeah. You want to
Proclamation.
come up here?
Yeah, the
Come
proclamation.
on, come on. Oh, this one in here?
Yes.
Yes. Here. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair
Okay.
and Councilwoman. In addition to the signatures that I will be soliciting tomorrow on the other project, I would like to say that we got a request from the school board in terms of proclaiming March 9th, 2022 Women's Day. And I would like to read it. Whereas Brandon L. King, Mayor, and the East Cleveland City Council pauses to declare Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 Women's Day, and whereas women of the city of East Cleveland have been pioneers in the area of social justice, and whereas the women in the city of East Cleveland have been leaders in the field of education, and whereas women in the city of East Cleveland have held the family together for the nurturing and support of their children, husbands, and elderly parents, and whereas in the city of East Cleveland, women in the city of East Cleveland have been the source of strength for the development of their neighborhood agencies and the community. So now, let it be resolved that Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 is hereby declared to be Women's Day in the city of East Cleveland. And in witness so far, we have the signature of the mayor, Council President Nathaniel Martin, Council Member Juanita Gowdy, and Ernest Smith.
Counselor Smith, if you want me to stop it by, bring it by your house for you to sign, I can do that.
Yes, thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay, and I don't know about the other two counselors in terms of their being unavailable to sign this as well. I'll get it for you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other citizens? Any police officers? Anyone else? Sir, come on up, sir.
Evening, Councilman.
All right.
Dan Bailey, Trouble Matter. Going back to the LPR, we mentioned the benefits for violent crimes, Amber Alerts, whatnot. But they can also be beneficial to us when it comes to minor crimes, particularly minor traffic infractions, which leads to sometimes pursuits. What's the biggest thing we come under scrutiny for in the city? Pursuits, to be honest. By having those LPR readers, vehicle takes off from us for, like, say, minor traffic violation, we could simply use those to capture the plate. It'd be easier to track that suspect. It'd avoid a lot of crashes. It'd be safer on us, safer on the citizens. That's something to take into consideration.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Wayne County?
Thank you for coming out each and every one. Unfortunately, I am so disappointed in the other two, even if they are safe. Sometimes we can do Zoom, there's other ways to do things. And I mean, I believe that was going to be a perfect thing for our police officers. We be hollering how they fly up and down the street and everything. And now we have an opportunity of slowing all that down and even some of the crime that's been happening. And for my colleagues not showing up because of a meeting that supposed to took place earlier today, I think that's very challenging. I mean, it's like a little kid, so I mean, we put them in position. The resident voted for them to be in position to help uplift the city and help push this city forward. And for them to always email them, don't email me no more. Cause I'm not going to even accept it, I mean, I'm gonna report right back to you, because you should be here when it's time. Every time when it's time to vote on something that's gonna push our city forward, they renege, both of them. So, I'm very disappointed. Yes, I want to speak my mind regardless of the fact, because if the shoes was on the other feet, you would spoke your mind too. So I'm very disappointed in that. We're talking about the pursuits and all this stuff. I mean, quit complaining if you're not gonna do nothing about it. And that's how I see the whole situation. My colleague, I am so disappointed in them because all this amount they got, all these texts and emails that they send, they ain't even showing up or come on Zoom, Show us that you sick, Do you have a doctor excuse that you sick on the day, this day? I want to see. And why are you absent on the day when we really need you? So I'm very upset with them. And you know what? And if they continue this, we can vote them out. We can vote them out.
I rise to speak. I thought about what Mr. O'Bay said, and we're not really castigating anyone. Our power rests in the vote. When you vote, you have to be here to vote, or whatever the case may be. But I just had a feeling, just some things I was picking up about these two pieces of legislation. And it's disturbing and it's troubling. Okay, we're here to serve the people, these 14,000. We are a city with 3.1 miles. Some of this equipment would be very effective for us. So it's free. Why would we not be here to get it done? They could, come on, something's wrong with this. Everybody feels it in here. We feel it. We feel it. And it's just, when I think about beginning of this year, and just, if you tune into the meetings, it's just a negativity that comes from certain ones. It's all negative. We don't do nothing right here. We don't do nothing. It's always 100 questions. I get an average of 6 to 8 emails every day, Saturday and Sunday too. Every day from certain ones. And it's disturbing. And it's disturbing. Now, we had a chance to, Miss Jones came, she lost someone, and then I hear the vote. It's disturbing. This month is Women's History Month. And all of us, as women in our life, and our mothers, our grandmothers, you can say it. But I am distraught and hurt by what's taking place. I really am. Okay, $225,000 of grant money, and you're not here to act on it? I just felt some phone calls I was getting that they were going to step up, and they didn't. So, Willa Hemmings, help us see if we can get this done, okay? If the shot spotter doesn't work, or the license plate, we can terminate it. It'll cost us one dime. So why would you not be able to act on this? I don't know. But I'm here trying to be objective. There's some things that I can say. I got an email from one of them, I won't even mention her name, putting me down, talking about what I've done in the last 10, 15 years. Like, yeah. You talk about castigate. I was castigated, Mr. O'Mays. You should hear what she said about me. What I did, this and all that. Very negative. Very negative. But I don't get caught up in that. I keep moving forward. This year, 2022, we're working together better than we have in 20 years. And we got to do that. The police have got to work with the council got to work with the police. We're here to help the citizens. We can't get it. We never get it all right. This is not a perfect world. We got to do that. These individuals put their life on the line out there messing with some of these fools out here. Okay? We have to be here to give them the kind of equipment that's going to help them be more efficient on their jobs. So I have a responsibility to be here to vote and act. That's why you put me up here. That's why Gowdy's up here. That's why Smith is up here. All of us have a responsibility to do that. I'm going to pray about this situation because it's disturbing. About $225,000 of grant money, and we're not acting on it. It's totally unacceptable. So, thank you, Willow. Maybe you'll help us. We'll see. My common sense tells me there's no reason why we should. No reason. That's what I'm just. Have spoken.
All right.
Counselor Smith might need something to say.
We forgot.
Yes,
Go ahead.
thank you all. Basically, my colleagues and our great police officers said it all. So I just say thank you to everyone who cared enough to show up to check on our health interests, rights, and needs. Again, I really want to thank the police department. I know there's been a lot of criticisms as far as the chasings and things of that nature, but you all have done an outstanding job on answering the call and trying to find unique ways to show that you are hearing the calls of the people. I'm very, very disappointed that we couldn't get it put in stone this evening. I know everyone gets sick every once in a while, but I think a lot of you all know me. I just tell it like it is. There's a whole lot of politicking going on, and I hope that the people of East Cleveland are paying attention. even the friends of those individuals. I'm starting to learn how this go. And I could just ask if I'm ever doing anything like this, friends or not, please get on me, people of East Cleveland. Get on me and get rid of me. With that being said, thank you. I look forward to continuing to work together as far as we can in the future. I'm very, very proud of you, Councilwoman Gowdy. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, most importantly, thank you for my neighbors, the citizens of East Cleveland, for joining us tonight on this special council meeting to check on your health, interests, rights, and needs. It is very, very important, as you can see, to attend this meeting tonight. There is no excuse. I couldn't make it in person, but I sure can make it on Zoom. There's no excuse not to be able to log on and do what we were elected by the people of East Cleveland to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gotti, I accept the motion for adjournment. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.